Well, thank you very much. When you look at Proforum, you may say this is their, first major, foray into the economic situation. But I believe that when you look at my record, my former boss's record, or my boss's record, and you look at what our MPs in Parliament have been saying, then for us, it is the conditions which Ghanaians are feeling now. And the fact that others have begun to talk about the economy, you would agree with me, is not new. You would agree that our minority in Parliament have been talking about these issues for a long time. I have been writing, also on these issues, and I have been speaking on these issues. So for us, it is for us to remind Ghanaians, about what we have been talking about for quite some time.
Was this not just a partisan attempt to paint the ruling administration black as far as its handling of the economy is concerned?
No, we leave that judgment to Ghanaians. And I was careful yesterday at the introduction to say that every data I used was official. They were either from the budgets, going back to 2013. They were from the fiscal tables that the Ministry of Finance has been publishing since Dr. Butchie's time, and we have the data and the record. They are from the official reports, which you spoke about, the petroleum, resources. Official reports such as the ESLA report, the public debt report, the ESLA public debt. We do have others like the sinking fund, which has not been going to Parliament, and more importantly, the public debt report. Remember, these were all reports that we, because we wanted transparency, put in the Public Financial Management Act or in the respective acts that went to Parliament to make it obligatory. And that was going to be obligatory of us. Let me remind you that we were confident of winning the 2017 elections. So it was going to be obligatory of us as well to come clean. And so everything we presented were from official reports. So I wouldn't know why one would call them painting the current administration black.
I just said that on the back of the fact that we may not necessarily be seeing economic, statistics or economic figures that are largely different from what we may have seen in the course of the Fourth Republic. But very quickly on this one, President Mahama yesterday spoke of this administration using COVID-19 as a whipping boy to sort of cover up its own failures, its own mishandling of the economy. But I want to put this forward for your consideration. The entire world's economy has been ravaged by COVID-19. In fact, even the countries with the sturdiest economies, like the United States and China, have been affected. Then you look at the fact that some Bretton Woods institutions have also said that we have not fared too badly in terms of our economy and the handling of COVID-19, considering what is going on in other countries. Now, why are we whipping this government, economically speaking, when we know that this is a problem that not only Ghana is facing?
This is also not new. I do not want us to represent what we are saying as new. All under my PFM tax handle, where we have dialogue, we have gone over these issues specifically, and therefore I would wish that we do not, present this as new. We make the following points. First, we said, if you take the Article 4, 2019, the government had disclosed a fiscal gap of 5% plus to the IMF in that report. That is 2019, before COVID set in 2020. Now, we also said that this was repeated in the report that the IMF issued. And you may want to go to it for yourself. You may want your producers to go into it. That's why I'm giving these references. The March 2020 IMF COVID report, which was issued by the IMF board and which the government gave those figures to the fund, repeated the gap from 2019, and it's disclosed that the cost of COVID was 3% of GDP. Remember that number?
Yes.
3% of GDP, and repeated the gap. And in fact, among the instruments for filling that gap was gold monetization. I hope that would strike a bell. Was bonds that we were going to issue and various other instruments. Now, take the 2020 deficit. It was 4.5% official record. Add 3%, that gives you 7.3%. 4.5, that's 7 plus 3, yes, 7.5%. Remember when the minister went to Parliament, and when the media review was sent to Parliament, the deficit rose to 11%. What accounts for the difference? Everything was blamed on COVID. We started giving this alert from there. Then came the IMF, Fitch, the ratings agencies, the downgrades, and we were told that our deficit was 13% and could be hitting, 15%. So what accounts for the difference between 4.5 plus 3, 7.5, and 15%? Is that COVID?